Many lost jobs will never return by Laura D. Andres Tyson. The pandemic and the subsequent recovery will accelerate the ongoing digitalization and automation of the work trend that have eroded middle skill jobs will increasing high skill jobs during the last 2 decades and they contributed to the stagnation of median wages and rising income inequalities. Many low wage, low skill in a person services jobs, especially those provided by small firms, will not return with the recovery. Changes in demand, many of them accelerated by the economic dislocation were wrought by the pandemic, will change the future composition of GDP. The share of the services in the economy continue to rise, but the share of the in-person services will decline in retail, hospitality, travel, education, healthcare, government, and digitalization drive change in the way these services are organized and delivered. Many low wages, low skill in-person services jobs, especially those provided by small firms, will not return with the eventual recovery. However, workers providing essential services such as the policing, firefighting, healthcare, logistics, public transportation, and food will be in a greater demand, creating new jobs opportunities and increasing the pressure to the rise wages and the improve the benefits is in these traditionally low wages sector. The downtown will accelerate the growth of the non-standard precarious employment, part-time workers, gig workers, and workers with the multiple employer, leading to a new profitable benefits system that move with the work and burden. The definition and employer now low cost returning program digitally delivered will be required to provide the skills required in new jobs. The sudden dependence of the so many on the ability to work remotely reminds us that a significant and inclusive expansion of Wi-Fi, broadband, and other infrastructure will be necessary to enable the accelerating the digitalization of economic activities. A more China-centric globalization by the Kishore Mahabani. The COVID-19 pandemic will accelerate a change that had already begun, a move away from the US-centric globalization to a more China-centric globalization. The COVID-19 pandemic will accelerate a change that had already begun, a move away from the US-centric globalization to a more China-centric globalization. Why will this trend continue? The American population has lost faith in globalization and international trade, but free trade agreements are toxic without US President Donald Trump. By contrast, China has not lost faith. Why not? Their agreements are deeper. Historically, reason Chinese readers now known well that the China's century of humiliation from 1842 to 1949 was a result of its own comprehensive and futile efforts by its leader to cut it off from the world. By contrast, the past few decades of economic insurgencies were a result of the global engagement. The Chinese people have also experienced an explosion of the cultural confidence. They believe they can compete anywhere. Consequently, as I document in my new book, has China won? The United States has two choices. If its primary goal is to maintain global primacy, it will have to engage in a zero-sum globalization. Geological contrast, political and economical with the China. However, if the goal of the United States is to improve the well-being of the American people, whose social condition has deteriorated, it should cooperate with the China. Wiser counsel would suggest that the cooperation would be the better choice. However, given the toxic US political environment toward China, wiser counsel may not prevail.